Following Turkey and Portugal, Greece, Australia, and New Zealand joined the Owners Club of the MEKO 200 class in the late 1980s. Within 10 years, 5 Western navies chose these frigates. The modular design is the key to success in the international market. As the weapon detective, we're now investigating the Hydra and ANZAC classes, the Greek, Australian, and New Zealand MEKO 200s. The Hydra and ANZAC classes symbolize the new phase of the MEKO 200's evolution. Thanks to the technological advancements and experience from the CIWS class program, Blohm & Voss improved its design and offered more capable MEKO 200 class frigates in the late 1980s. In 1988, Greece became the third customer of the frigate. Initially, the Hellenic Navy had planned to have 6 MEKO 200 AHN class vessels, also known as the Hydra-class. Yet, the country had economic problems in the 1990s. So, Greece acquired 8 second-hand Cortenair-class frigates from the Netherlands and reduced the number of MEKO 200s to 4. The first ship of this class, HS Hydra, was laid down on December 17, 1990, launched on June 25, 1991, and commissioned on October 25, 1992. In the same year, she suffered a severe fire. So, the Hellenic Navy had to wait until 1993 to use HS Hydra fully operational. The first MEKO 200 HN was constructed in Germany, while the local Hellenic shipyards built the remaining 3 frigates. The last, HS Salamis, joined the fleet in 1998. The Greek frigates have many distinctive features from the Turkish CIWS and Portuguese Vasco da Gama class ships. For example, thanks to the digital data and information network, data of all their subsystems, including weapons and sensors, could be controlled from different multi-interface computer units. If one of the multi-interface computer units is damaged, the other unit can take over its task. This feature increases combat capability and survivability. Besides, the frigate can be operated with a smaller crew thanks to the advanced automation systems. The Hydra class had better shock resistance. The additional bulwark around the bows and the unique electro-hydraulic rudder give the Greek MEKO 200 superior seaworthiness than the previous CIWS and Vasco da Gama classes. These surface combatants have been degaussed level 3 against magnetic sea mines. The Hydra class has the same sonar as the CIWS class. However, the Hellenic Navy chose the variable depth sonar version, which has better detection capability and peculiar hydrographic conditions of the Aegean Sea. Also, the sonars of the Greek frigates are better positioned, which improves performance. According to Jane's Fighting Ships 2015-2016 edition, the complement of the Hydra class is 214 people, including 16 flagstaff. The frigate has a length of 117 meters, a beam of 14.8 meters, and a draught of 6 meters. Its standard and fully loaded displacements are 2,753 and 3,404 tons respectively. The combined diesel or gas configuration propulsion system consists of two 5,210 horsepower MTU-20V956 TB82 diesel engines and two 30,000 horsepower GE-LM 2500 gas turbines. The top speed of the Hydra class is 31 knots. At an economical speed of 16 knots, the frigate can reach a range of 7,600 kilometers, in other words, 4,100 nautical miles. In 1989, Australia and New Zealand, which had jointly opened the tender in 1986 to replace their Leander-class frigates, became the 4th and 5th customers of the MEKO 200 class. 8 vessels defined as MEKO 200 ANZ class or ANZAC class were built for Australia and 2 for New Zealand. The first ship of this class, HMAS Anzac, was laid down on November 5, 1993 and launched on September 16, 1994. The Royal Australian Navy commissioned her on May 18, 1996. The last Australian MEKO 200 ANZ, HMAS Perth, joined the fleet in 2006. The first New Zealand frigate, HMNZS Te Kaha, was laid down on September 19, 1994, launched on July 22, 1995, and commissioned on July 22, 1997. The second and last ship, HMNZS Te Mana, joined the fleet in 1999. All 10 MEKO 200 ANZs were built in Australia. Developed based on the Vasco da Gama class, this model has 2 diesel engines and 1 gas turbine, giving the Anzac-class an extended range, albeit slower than other MEKO 200s. According to Jane's Fighting Ships 2015-2016 edition, the complement of the Anzac-class is 191 people for the Australian model and 163 for the New Zealand model. The frigate has a length of 118 meters, a beam of 14.8 meters, and a draught of 4.35 meters. The fully loaded displacement of the initial variant is 3,759 tons. But after modernization, the fully loaded displacement of the Australian ships increased to 3,810 tons. The combined diesel or gas configuration propulsion system consists of 2 4,420 horsepower MTU 12V 1163 TB83 diesel engines and one 30,172 horsepower GE-LM 2500 gas turbine. The top speed of the Anzac-class is 27 knots. At an economical speed of 18 knots, the frigate can reach a range of 11,110 kilometers, in other words, 6,000 nautical miles. The Hydra-class has the F-band DA-08 air surface search and the FG-band MW-08 air radar. The DA-08 has a range of 168 kilometers. The MW-08 can detect an air target with a radar cross-section of 0.1 square meter at a range of 17 kilometers. Initially, all Anzac-class frigates had the CD-band AN/SPS-49V-8 ANZ air search radars with a 475 km range. The Australian MEKO 200s were later equipped with the L-band CFAR-2L long-range solid-state active phased array radar, whose range is over 180 kilometers. It can maintain constant 360 degrees of surveillance to track multiple targets simultaneously and to stare at a specific item of interest. Also, the Australian vessels now have the X-band CEAMOUNT active phased array illuminator. The AN/SPS-49V-8 ANZ radars of the New Zealand ships were replaced with the SMART-S Mark II long-range air and surface surveillance radar. The SMART-S Mark II has a range of 200 kilometers and can simultaneously track more than 500 targets. All Greek and Australian MEKO 200s can carry up to 8 RGM-84 Harpoon anti-ship missiles, whose range is 124 kilometers. It has a 222 kg semi-armor piercing warhead. Its maximum speed is Mach 0.86. The Royal Australian Navy has fitted the Harpoons onto its ships from 2005 onwards. Australia plans to replace the RGM-84 with the NSM. This land attack capable anti-ship missile has a top speed of Mach 0.95. Its range is over 185 kilometers. The NSM has a 125 kg high explosive blast fragmentation warhead and a high resolution passive imaging infrared seeker with advanced software that can detect, identify, and discriminate the ships independently. Since the missile can choose its target autonomously, it doesn't require pre-targeting before the launch. The Royal New Zealand Navy's MEKO 200s have the RGM-84 capability, but they are not fitted with this missile. Initially, the Hydra and ANZAC classes had been equipped with the RIM-7 Sea Sparrow missile. The Greek and Australian frigates are now equipped with the Mark 41 vertical launching systems capable of launching the RIM-162 ESSM. This air defense missile has a range of 50 kilometers and a top speed of Mach 4. The New Zealand ships are equipped with the GWS-35 20-cell vertical launching system for the Sea Ceptor. This air defense missile has an effective range between less than 1 km and greater than 25 km. Its speed is Mach 3. The Hydra and ANZAC classes have one 127mm Mark 45 gun, whose effective range is 23 km against surface targets and 15 km against air targets. Although originally they had been planned to be equipped with the 76mm guns, the MEKO 200 ANZs were equipped with the 127mm Mark 45s due to the Australian Army's request for a heavier gun for shore bombardment duties. The Hydra-class has two Mark 15 Phalanx close-in weapon systems which have an effective range of 1.5 km and a rate of fire of 4,500 rounds per minute. They are mounted asymmetrically to provide 360-degree coverage. Each phalanx holds 1,550 ready-to-fire ammunition, sufficient for 8 engagements of missile targets. The Australian MEKO 200 ANZs do not have a close-in weapon system. The New Zealand frigates have a single phalanx over the hangar. The Anzac-class has 2 mini Typhoon remote control weapon stations with a 12.7mm machine gun. The Australian vessels have 2 top-light electro-optic directors for mini Typhoons, while the New Zealand ships have only 1. The Hydra and ANZAC classes have 2 324mm Mark 32 triple torpedo tubes. The frigates of the Hellenic Navy have aviation facilities suitable for an SH-60 Aegean Hawk helicopter. The Royal Australian Navy uses the MH-60 Romeo helicopter, while the Royal New Zealand Navy operates the SH-2G Super Sea Sprite. The vessels of the Hellenic Navy will soon be modernized. However, it hasn't been announced which systems will be changed or updated. Since 2004, all Australian MEKO 200 ANZs have been gradually modernized. During the modernization, additional ballast was fitted to maintain stability. Therefore, the displacement of these ships increased to 3,810 tons. Since 2018, the Australian Anzac-class frigates have been undergoing their Midlife Capability Assurance Program upgrade. Besides weapon and radar upgrades, the Royal New Zealand Navy's ships are fitted with the CMS 330 combat management system. The Hydra-class frigates have participated in many international missions. For example, HS Psara was the flagship of Operation Atalanta in 2009. In 2024, HS Hydra was deployed to the Red Sea to protect shipments from Houthi attacks as a part of the European Union's Operation Aspides. One on March 13 and one on April 25, she shot 2 Houthi drones. On June 19, HS Psara, which relieved HS Hydra in the region in the same mission, attacked another 4 Houthi drones and shot 2 of them down. The Hydra-class frigates of the Hellenic Navy have countlessly encountered their Turkish CIWS and Barbaros-class sisters in the Aegean Sea. The Australian and New Zealand Anzac-class ships participated in the Interfleet operation. In 2003, HMAS Anzac provided naval gunfire support during the Battle of Al-Faw. Thus, she conducted the first coastal bombardment of the Royal Australian Navy in combat after 31 years. In 2007, HMAS Perth became the first Royal Australian Navy major surface combatant commanded by a woman. In the same year, HMNZS Temana reached the same honor. The Anzac-class frigates have frequently visited the fallen heroes of the Australian and New Zealand Army Corps in Turkey for Anzac Day. Atatürk said, "There is no difference between the Johnnies and the Mehmets to us, where they lie side by side here in this country of ours. After having lost their lives on this land, they have become our sons as well." And the Australian, New Zealand and Turkish MEKO 200s have stood next to each other as brothers. They have become one of the symbols of the last gentleman's war. After being decommissioned on May 18, 2024, HMAS Anzac became the first retired Anzac and MEKO 200 class ship. HMAS Aranta will follow her in 2026. The Hunter class will begin to replace the MEKO 200s of the Royal Australian Navy by 2027. Initially, Australia planned to construct 9 Hunter-class ships, but later reduced the number to 6 in favor of 11 new general-purpose frigates. The 2030s and 2040s will probably be the last years of the Greek and New Zealand frigates. The technical and economic support of the USA and Germany played a role in MEKO 200's market success. Yet the fact that it can be easily configured according to the user's demand was undoubtedly the most essential factor in this achievement. These frigates have always accomplished what was expected of them in many wars, crises, and operations they participated in. Thanks for watching our video, and please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all of your likes, comments, and shares.